Hey, Amber.
They saw my tum-tum!
The moon landing didn't happen.
Are you actually gonna wear that?
Sorry, but like, ew.
Did she spray Pam on the food?
That ass, though.
You're lolcows. That's what you guys do. Me react to your videos?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Could you imagine, like, if we were to have broken up and then...
Hey folks, what's good? I'm Detective Avenger Deets, and today I have some GorlWorld love for you. You heard that right, I said love. And more specifically, let's call it some Beck appreciation. I will say that at first we do need to get through some hate, but I promise, we're gonna get to the love at the end. Because yes, this community can be a toxic dumpster fire. But you know what? That's not all that it is. Not even close. So today, we're going to be discussing a couple of points that have been brought up in recent videos by Beck, as well as in the first Lukewarm Tea for You podcast episode. As I've been listening, I've been putting different bits of information together into a single storyline about a double narrative, which in turn led to my own theory, and ultimately, my own way of problem solving for that theory. Did that make any sense whatsoever?
40 over 120 equals x over 100, and then you cross multiply and get the value of x.
Let me try that again. Over the last couple of weeks, I've noticed during the Beck era, Amberlynn Reid successfully orchestrated a double narrative about and to Beck. Amberlynn was able to shape the way Beck saw GorlWorld.
You weren't allowed to watch the reaction channels?
No.
In addition to the way her audience perceived Beck.
Reaction channels, they hated Beck.
That's the double narrative. And based on what I've heard, I also formed a theory based on the success of that double narrative, which I will dig into in this video for sure. And then after that, I'm going to wrap it all up by acting on that theory and providing at least a small solution to the problem. I don't know if that was any better. All right, if you are curious, let's see if I can get through this in a somewhat efficient way. Before I get started, I am going to warn you, there is going to be a little bit of discussion of DA today. I'm not going to be getting into too much detail like I have in past videos, but I did want to give you that warning. I will say that this video does end in love and not hate. So sit back, soak in the research I've done, ponder my theory, then we get to bask in the glory of positivity at the end. Will it be a winding road? Yes. But will it also be worth it? Hell yes.
Picture it.
There I was, working on a totally different video altogether, when my ADHD brain did that thing that it does. You know, it kind of like wandered off somewhere for a while without me. I figured out something that had been bothering me for days. On the surface, sure. Describing GorlWorld as a complete and utter dumpster fire is probably the easiest and quickest description that one might come up with. And it's fair, because there's a lot of bad behavior, to put it lightly.
She's like the Donald Trump of YouTube.
But anyone who's been a part of this community for a while knows that it's way more nuanced than that, and that the smaller communities within GorlWorld can actually be supportive and fun and just filled with some truly great personalities. Amberlynn has spent years controlling her own victim narrative in many ways.
I really don't think she's ever been genuine about anything a day in her life, even to herself. I just really don't. I don't think she knows what it means. She will take any narrative and just try to twist it to fit it her way. And if it doesn't come out making her sound good, she will not add it.
One of which has been by controlling two sides of the same story. To her viewers, she made Beck the enemy.
Reaction channels they hated Beck. And it's like, actually, we didn't know what was happening. We had no idea. We were hypercritical of Beck. I will give you that. I wasn't a reaction channel back then, but the reaction channels were hypercritical, but they had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. We only saw what they wanted us to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
It's
then
just what Amber was putting out there.
exactly, we only saw it, like she likes to say, like, you have no idea what was happening, but it's like, well, we saw what you put out there.
To Beck, she made the viewers the enemy.
Did she make you read hate comments though?
No. She would just pick out ones and read them to me, especially if they made her look really, really bad, because she would want my sympathy.
Oh my God.
Recently, with Beck being back on YouTube, there have been some very interesting and highly enlightening conversations happening. So, the following are the points that I'm going to discuss today. Point 1. The fact that Beck stayed far away from YouTube for so many years because they were both embarrassed about their connection to Amberlynn and protecting their mental health from the toxicity of GorlWorld.
People have asked me a lot about why I don't make my own videos or live stream anymore. They want to know why I haven't used the platform that's been handed to me to make money. And the main reason is because this community has been and is very harmful and toxic mentally for me. While I've grown as a person and have become more aware of the mistakes I've made in the past, it's become embarrassing to have ever been a part of Amber's life on and off YouTube.
Point 2. Beck telling us that Amberlynn didn't want Beck watching reaction channels or even reading the comments on Amber's own channel when they were together.
And it's like, I didn't watch the videos back or anything. I didn't watch anything she ever posted. So I had no idea.
In fact, the only comments that Beck ever heard were the ones that Amber cherry-picked to read aloud to Beck, thus creating a very narrow and highly curated view of what was actually happening. And point 3, the fact that once Beck had broken up with Amber, they started realizing how awful Amber had been to them after having seen some compilation videos.
Started like coming across tea channels and videos of like Amber being mean to Beck for 20 minutes straight. And I would watch these things, and I would watch these react channels that I was not allowed to watch while I was with her.
Those videos showed off the times that Amber had been rude or mean.
And these things started opening my eyes, and I was just like, oh my God.
And they acted as one of the first tools in Beck's healing journey. All right, so let's break those down just a bit more. Immediately, Minnie Waffles has decided to bark. Let's see how she's doing. Hi, yeah, how you doing? You gonna bark some more? All right, thank you. Maybe we could just do a little record session here without the barking? No? Probably not. All right. Well, let's see what happens here. I always lose my spot in my brain. Regarding the first point about Beck staying away from YouTube for so long,
My goal after the breakup was to move on as an individual and separate myself from what happened in the past.
I totally get that. I honestly can't say how I would feel if I had been in Beck's shoes. I don't know if I've been able to log into YouTube and start creating my own content and subjecting myself to the criticism that comes along with that.
When that audience consists mainly of people who have heard of me from Amber's videos, separating the two while still existing online became impossible.
The internet is not a very nice place all the time.
A lot of people know of me from that time in my life, and I have had to accept that and keep moving forward.
That's especially because, and this kind of bleeds into my second point a bit, at the time, Beck was unaware of the fact that there was actually more to the story that Amberlynn had been hand-feeding to them.
Did you just say you weren't allowed to watch the reaction channels?
Right,
Yeah, no.
that was my
I'm sorry, that
moment.
caught my attention and it grabbed me. You weren't allowed to watch them?
No.
Oh hell no!
Oh my god! So she made sure that you did not watch like Zachary Michael or any of them.
Right. Yeah, no. Like whenever she would watch it, she would just watch it by herself on her laptop.
There were, in fact, a lot of people that were highly critical of Beck's actions, the role in Amberlynn's life, even the way they looked, unfortunately.
She would spend an hour at a time scrolling through her YouTube comments on and off daily. She would also cry about her YouTube comments and talk about how detrimental it was to her mental health, but would go out of her way to read them along with posts on Reddit, Kiwi Farms, and Facebook.
Amber had weaponized those comments against Beck. Of course she did. That's what she does. Amber read those hateful and critical comments aloud to Beck.
She talked about the channels daily and watched every video that came out about her. She would sometimes cry about the things the channels would say, calling them bullies.
She would leave out anything that might make Amber look bad, right? Or even anything that would let Beck know that there was also some love for them.
Some of her best videos are the ones with you in them, Beck. Like the most views and stuff.
Yeah, that was something else. She always told me that stuff with me and it got less views. So that's why she had me stop being in them for a little while.
You're a lie, Lynn. You're a lie, Lynn.
As we learned in the Lukewarm Tea for You podcast, which, by the way, I will link in the description down below, Amber didn't let Beck watch reaction channels or even her own videos, which is it's just wild.
She wouldn't have me watch or anything. No, she didn't.
Did you ever try?
I knew if I would try, she would know because she kept tabs on my phone all the time.
Oh my God, the control. Oh my God.
So
That's
if you try, okay,
unhinged.
hold on, wait. Okay,
keep
I'm
saying
speechless.
unhinged,
Okay, unhinged is an understatement. We're not allowed to say what we really want to say. So she would monitor your phone so you could not watch any kind of reaction channel because she would see it because she'd go into like your YouTube and she'd monitor your text messages and stuff.
Oh yeah, she would go through everything.
Oh my God,
she knew everything.
God damn.
And I couldn't go through none of her stuff.
So Beck never got a complete picture of how people were reacting, either to Amberlynn or to Beck. Beck only got Amber's storyline. You know, not to mention the fact that you and I both know Amber hated the fact that there were people that supported and genuinely liked Beck. I mean, this is my opinion, of course, but I think Amber was so jealous. She'd been trying to manipulate people into liking her for what? 8 years at this point? And for the most part, she had failed year after year. Then she introduces Beck to her channel, someone that she thought was beneath her. Not true, by the way. And people liked Beck more.
Hi, Beck, you cute girl. I'm drunk and high.
I'm glad you're having a fun time. Hello to you too.
Zach said, "Hey, Beck, I love you." Everyone's saying hi, Beck. Everybody's saying hi to you, Beck.
Man, talk about a narcissistic injury if I have ever heard one.
But I don't want it.
She hated it so much. I'm sure she did. Amber would see the positivity towards Beck, and it would make her more angry and even more manipulative. It just made her mean, like meaner and meaner.
Are you actually gonna wear that?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, she says. Baby, you just gotta lose a little bit of weight. I know you can do it. Talking shit, yo. Don't write on me.
I did.
How you doing, babe?
It's starting to hurt.
It's starting to hurt? Oh, no.
I'm hungry. I ate since yesterday.
You should probably get some food.
And the more people supported Beck, the more Amber tried to make Beck look bad in her videos, right? Amber continuously just insulted and belittled Beck.
Morgie Baby 14 asked, does Becky ever cook for you? So when we're eating healthy, I don't want her to cook for me.
Why do you like these better?
I don't know. That's just cute.
But we have to go eat somewhere in public.
Everything became Beck's fault.
Becky found these. Philly cheesesteak legs, kettle cooked New York style pizza, Lay's. That's for her salsa. So this isn't just mine. I want to let you guys know. It's also Becky's.
Beck made bad decisions that made Amber make bad decisions.
If I could change anything, it would be like your priorities. So some stuff is Becky's, some stuff is mine. She kind of went on a sweet kick.
Amber wanted to punish Beck for being more authentic and more likable than Amber could ever be.
I think a lot of reaction channels were like critical because they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, for sure. It was like, why are you with that? And it's like, well, we're going to judge you for being with that. Like, for sure.
And in the meantime, She was able to keep Beck's self-confidence low and Beck's sympathy for Amber high.
We shouldn't be tearing someone down. We should be tearing people up.
So let me try to summarize succinctly. Amber paints Beck in a bad light to her viewers. So Beck starts getting more and more criticism by said viewers. Then Amber shares only the worst, most hateful comments with Beck. And now Beck has a very narrow and thus highly skewed view of Girl World. Of course, Beck wouldn't want any part of it once they broke up with Amberlynn. Now, my third point of reflection. The fact that Beck started to see a more complete picture of how Amberlynn had treated them and how viewers had actually seen Amber when they watched some compilations and reaction channels after breaking up with her.
I can call you names that I call my friends now.
Like what?
What's up, bitch whore?
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. In fact, it actually kind of turned out to be good, right? Those videos helped Beck see some of the truth of what Amberlynn had put them through.
Yeah, because I mean, it was bringing up stuff I completely forgot about having to dig and remember. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe that I went through this and I stayed.
Beck had been so deep in Amber's lies and manipulation that until those videos, they couldn't see what had been right in front of them all along.
I was right here. And I realized I was disassociating through 90% of it.
And to be clear, I am in no way saying that that is Beck's fault.
In the moment, you're just like, oh, I care about this person. You know, I'm not gonna.
Right.
It's maybe like I can care about them enough to divert this kind of treatment, and it doesn't work.
People like Amber are just that good at manipulation.
It's really hard to stand in the house and it's on fire, and you just don't know it yet. You know, everybody else is like, you know, the family interventions and stuff. Everybody on the outside is screaming that it is, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
She's a good
if you're gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. Her too.
She's good at
Her too.
So one thing that you may have already learned about me is that I guess I kind of have a pretty intense sense of right and wrong. And even if it's in small ways, I want to try to do something about it. So yes, I am glad that Beck had the courage to watch those compilations, as difficult as it must have been.
Well, now I guess I'm just going to re-traumatize myself and drag you through the way you deserve.
Because ultimately it helped to open their eyes.
It really sounds like so much of it was completely out of your control. You know what I mean? She took a hold of your life and would not let go.
However, my point in bringing this up isn't the fact that Beck actually watched those videos. It's actually the fact that from what I've gleaned from the content so far, I don't think Beck has gone back and seen anything else. Beck hasn't gone back to watch Amber's content, which I also fully understand, by the way. Like, why would they re-traumatize themselves even more?
Ain't that something? Ain't that something when you actually like go back and think about it, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then you feel so stupid for it. I was embarrassed of the situation I was in back then and how she made me look. Like, I know she was really, really hell-bent on making me have the worst angles possible.
It makes sense to me. But because Beck hasn't gone back to watch those videos, they haven't seen or even know about any of the comments that Amber never read out loud to them. The ones that Amberlynn was jealous of. The ones that showed interest in and concern for Beck. Because here's the thing. The love was there. There were some of Amber's viewers that appreciated Beck, even in their darkest days. They saw Beck's great taste in music, their drawing skills, their fun 90s fashion, interest in television and movies. I don't know, just like their general chill vibe. And although there may not have been as many as there are today, there were people watching that recognized what Beck was going through. And they saw that Beck needed to get out of that relationship in order to thrive. They even told Beck to start their own YouTube channel because lots of people would watch their content. People put all of that in the comments, and Amber never read them to Beck. All of this has been a long, winding road to get to my actual point today. But I needed to talk through all of that in order to get to the end here, because this has been bugging me since last week, and it's why I made this video. It's the thought that maybe Beck still hasn't seen any of the love that they were receiving when they were with Amberlynn. And I think that we need to remedy that. Amber did a great job of not only hiding it, but also making it so that Beck would be afraid to look, then or now. And I completely understand. I wouldn't want to relive those moments either. But that doesn't mean that I can't do the legwork for them. I decided, as a gift to Beck, for the hard work that they've been putting into healing, learning from their past, taking accountability for their actions, and making positive changes in their life, that I would put together this collection of just some of the notes from the community that they may not have ever seen or even knew existed. And sure, I get it. It's a little bit cheesy, but I do think that Beck deserves to hear that positivity and support. And it's never too late for a little bit of love, am I right? Let's call this a sort of love letter from the part of GorlWorld that isn't actually as toxic as the one that Amberlynn curated for Beck. It is a love letter that the community has been writing for years. And just a quick heads up, in this next portion of the video, it's going to be both audio and visual. So if you've been listening only up to this point, I do recommend picking up your phone so that you can watch as well. Also, I think I'm just going to sign off personally for now, so I don't have to pop back in at the end and have an awkward goodbye. So thank you for watching. Editing Deets here. I just had to stop creating all the screens of comments for this because my hand actually hurts from taking all the screenshots and, doing the light editing for format and design, appropriate name and pronouns. I knew that the love was out there, but until going through this exercise of actually looking for these comments in bulk, I honestly had no idea just how many of them that there were. Amber did such a good job at controlling this narrative that I am left speechless, honestly, right now. I know that if I am this surprised, that there just can't be any way that Beck knows just how much support there was for them when they were with Amberlynn. These comments that I've collected span multiple years, from the very first time that Beck took over the vlog until about, I think, 3 years ago. So, this sentiment wasn't just a one-time thing, and there is no way that I could have collected every positive comment without ending up with a claw hand and a 3-hour video, maybe longer. We're definitely not doing that today, although I did grab a whole bunch of them, and I think it gets the point across pretty damn well. So yeah, I just wanted to pop in here real quick to say that even those of us who knew that there was love for Beck probably weren't aware of just how much there was. So while this video was initially created for Beck directly, I now think that it's incredibly important for everyone in GorlWorld to see, because Amber really pulled the wool over all of our eyes. Anyway, that's it. Now, in the words of RuPaul, everybody say love.
All right, I'm breaking up with you. I can't do this anymore.
Whatever.
I'm over it.
I'm over it too.
I'm done.
You're seeing the breakup right now. You didn't get this with Destiny. I guess I'm funny and you'll have a good time with me because I'm fun.
Hunty. My dream.
My dream. I would never put anyone's beliefs down. It's just not in me. I would make them all gentle and kind and artists and musicians.
I mean, I'm the one that's wearing a hat saying raging lesbian on the back of it.
Raging lesbian.
That was such a slay.
It's gonna kill me.
I can do a few voice impressions and no, I'm not going to do them for you. I will get smart and make the $1 million on my own.
I hope you bitches are ready.
You're more beautiful than Cinderella.
You smell like pine needles and you have a face like sunshine.
Hey guys, it's me, not Amberlynn. Sorry to disappoint you. My realistic dream animals are a gray pit bull puppy named Tuff, a black cat named Bagheera, or a Persian cat named Butterball. Nothing! And it just blew my mind away, and I'm just like, oh my god, that is so freaking cute. I don't know why I drew that. I just wanted to draw a butt.
Have you ever thrown a surprise party? Or have you ever had one thrown for you?
No, but I made my mom a surprise birthday cake once.
When we're together, we laugh a lot.
Okay, work.
Sorry, I got enveloped in Twinkie's beautiful eyes. Oob, Roopk, Uber, Lube Tubin.
Like, I don't like you, but I'm also a nice person. So I'm gonna not like you nicely.
Because the gays just know how to do stuff.
My favorite healthy drink is water with lemon juice in it. Get a salad.
10. That's like whenever you go to like a restaurant and they're like, you know, hey, yeah, here you go. Here, enjoy your meal. And you're like, yeah, thanks, you too.
I am a direct descendant of King Edward III of England.
You are a star.
I live in a constant state of nostalgia. My favorite gaming system is the classic 1985 Nintendo. Jonathan Davis, Joey Jordison, and Serge Tankian is my dream band.
Oh wow.
I would like to have a Scottish accent because theirs is a little like drawn out and harder to understand.
My dream unrealistic pets would be an otter, a cow, a whale, a shark, a giraffe, a lion, a bear, a sea lion, a snake, and a tarantula. Garnet is a fusion of two gems who fell in love with each other. My most hated food is bologna. It is disgusting and I don't know how people eat it. I'm trying to reach into the bag of wonder. I'm a very nervous, socially awkward, shy person. I am accepting of anyone's beliefs in religion, even atheists and Satanists. I won't put you down for what you truly feel is right. There's always Reptar, but never in my life has there been Tito. Freaking Tito, you guys. Like dramatic, funny.
Goodbye, everybody.